It's another week of Beat the Baseline, where the baseline is set by an unknown pour that is poured up and then measured against 4 random bottles that I randomly pick to start each episode. It's an exciting time, so stick around and pour up. It's the Bourbon Nut. Hey, welcome back. My name is Brock, and thanks for watching the channel where I've started a series, maybe the 5th one in here coming up, Beat the Baseline. So what that is, if you're new to the channel, is I kind of did something, a little different twist for blinds in terms of a random unknown pour that is poured in these 2-ounce sample jars. And then I randomly picked 4 bottles to go against what will become the baseline pour, in which each one will be stacked against and measured against this pour. It's a fun way to do it, like I said, and so I kind of enjoyed this series. I'm getting some good comments. If you enjoy this kind of content, just let me know in the comments down below. And what surprises you about some of the turnouts that I like better than the baseline, or the baseline better than the random bottles. So it's all fun. So let's kind of look at what we have here. Let's get this poured up real quick, and then we'll go through the contenders here. We'll let this breathe a little bit. Notice the color on that, which is the only thing I can see really, is kind of light, medium amber color there. Doesn't appear to be too dark, but we'll see. We'll let that kind of sit there for a minute, and we'll bring out the contenders for this week's battle against what will be the baseline pour. So first, we have New Rift, 8-year, 100 proof, coming out of Kentucky, right? So it's Kentucky bourbon. Super excited about having New Rift. They've done great things across the board. I've had a majority of their products, and they really stack up really well. So I'm a big fan of New Rift, and I think they're doing really great things. So it's in the lineup with this 8-year to see how it stacks up against the baseline pour. Next, we're going to throw a legacy in here. And this is a store pick. This is a good old Wild Turkey. This is Russell's Private Reserve. This is a store pick. Got a nice little tater sticker there. Wanted Lone Lake Ranger. This is 9 years. Wild Turkey single barrel product. 110 proof as always for these, so want to throw out that mix and see how it stacks up. Super excited. Love that bottle. Next up, we're going to go to another legacy. And this came out a couple years ago, I think. This is the Elijah Craig, and this is the Toasted Rye, 94 proof. So we got a 94 proof Toasted Rye in the mix tonight. Try to, again, vary up some of the types, finishes, ages a little bit, because I don't know what's in there, to see how this stacks. I might play around maybe doing all ryes or all high proofs, because it might just blow this out, or might not, just depends. So leave a comment down below, let me know. What are some suggestions on that? Last but not least, good old Nashville. This is a small batch. Yeah, this is a Connected Spirits. This was actually on Fred Minnick's list, I think in 2024, in the top 5. I think this was in that mix there somewhere with that too, but really good. It's distilled in Kentucky, but then I think it's bottled and aged in Tennessee, I believe, but really good. Comes in at 120 proof. All right, so let's go ahead and get these bottles out of the way, so that way I'm not tempted to look at these as I taste them. And then while I'm doing that, we'll go ahead and put these, and we'll spin them up in the carousel right here, just to add another layer of interesting complexity of not knowing exactly what I'm going to be tasting against the baseline pour first. Handy dandy carousel. We'll get these in here. We'll get them in here, and then we'll give things a couple of spins, and that's it. There you go. Pull them out. We'll set them back in here, and we'll get started. All right, let's get this up here. And I think we're going to be ready to get the baseline pour on the nose. Out of the gate, this smells, it's got some spice to it. I don't know if it's bacon spice. It's faint, but it's either like a high rye. I feel like it's like a high rye mash bill or something, or this could be a very bourbon-y type rye drinking whiskey. At least on the nose out of the gate. It's very light, bacon spices, a little bit of like raisin in there too, which is kind of another indicator, but that's not always right for me. It smells pleasant on the nose. Could be bourbon, I don't know, shit. We'll figure it out though, but on the nose smells pretty good. On the palate, cheers. It's got that little bit of that, I want to say like a rye spice or a mint or a tea note, which kind of indicates that I'm leaning towards, again, it's not very strong. So I'm leaning towards it's either a rye or a high rye mash bill kind of thing. But really good. It's got a little proof to it. Finish is pretty good on this one. I'd give this probably almost a medium finish. It hangs around a little bit of spice in the back end there. Some of that raisin is coming through. A little bit of that tea. Light vanilla on this one. Yeah, coats the mouth pretty good. I mean, that's a solid pour. I like that pour. So, all right. Work's cut out for me on what we got here. So let's go ahead and dive into the first one here and get this one, we'll call letter A, on the nose. Okay. Might have to clear this. All right, let's try that again. All right, this is kind of light on the nose too. Or either that's muted one. Interesting. It's like I smell. It's got like an oakiness to it a little bit. Like I smell like a little bit of oak influence. Maybe a hint of like stone fruit. A little bit of caramel in there too. So let's see what we got on the palate. Cheers. That's definitely feels lighter than the baseline pour here. But there's a little hint of like barrel char, light vanilla, a little bit of spice, like bacon spice there on that too. There's more vanilla that comes through there. A little more oak is pronounced as it gets towards the mid-back of the palate. That's pretty nice. That's pretty balanced. The flavors are pretty good across the palate there, front to back. Finish, we give this a nice medium finish. I mean, it's hanging around a little bit. It's coating the back in between the cheeks there. It's got a little bit of drying effect, which I tend to like. And typically, I think it's a little bit older age stated that I get that with maybe. Either that or it's like super drying if it's like super over double oaked, something like that. But this is not the case because I don't have any double oaked in this blind here. So one more sip. That's kind of tough. Where this one's just kind of balanced, sweet. This one makes noise and is a little louder. And it's got a little bit of the bacon spices in it too. So depends on what you're in the mood for. If you want something balanced and kind of quiet that sips really good, or you want something that's a little louder or noisier. So I think for me tonight, is this better, equal, or worse than the baseline pour tonight? For me, I'm gonna have to give the slight edge here. I think this is better than the baseline pour by marginally. And I say that because I'm kind of digging the whole well-balanced approach. It does come across lighter and proof, but again, I like the flavors on this one a lot. And this one is a little louder, but I think the proof on this one too, I do enjoy this, and this would be something I would probably sit down towards the end of the night versus this one might be sipping early evening. Maybe when people start coming over, this would be something I would probably just sip on and just kind of chill with. And I'm really kind of digging that right now too. So again, everybody's a little different, but that's kind of where I'm at tonight. So this one wins out by marginal victory over the baseline pour. So let's get into letter B and see what we're working with against the baseline pour on the nose. Okay, this one seems a little darker, a little richer. Yeah, there's a little bit of oak in this one. Oak influence, I should say. A little caramel here, like caramel chew, like craft caramel, something along those lines. Yep. Yeah, nice on the nose. Let's get it on the palate. Cheers. Man, that's nice. This seems a touch bump up in proof from this one right here. I think this one's got a little more oiliness to it as well too. Sticks around even better. That's nice. It's caramel, vanilla, almost like a vanilla custard kind of thing. Vanilla cream. That's good. I like that one a lot. Let me do it against this real quick. Okay, for me, this one's a little bit easier. So Brock, is this one better, equal, or less than the baseline pour tonight? For me, this was pretty easy. This one is better than the baseline pour. Really good across the board. I think it's amped up in terms of flavor profile. And there's more oiliness and it's a little more sticky. So I enjoyed that one a lot too. So that was really good. All right, so let's move on to letter C and get this one on the nose. Now this has got a hint of, I think, mint. or citrus, something along those lines. Yeah, citrusy, mint. Kind of light on the nose. Smells vibrant, almost like vibrant on the nose with that citrus kind of note. Yep. All right, let's see what we got on the palate. Cheers. This one to me doesn't stack up against these other two. I know we're not comparing against the other two, but just coming off the other two, this one just kind of falls flat for me right out of the gate. But let me try it against this here. Yeah, this one's just a little more robust, a little bolder compared to this one. And this one just comes across just a little flat. I mean, there's a little barrel quality there. A little spice, a little vanilla, but it just comes across the front of the palate, just feels super light compared to that, and against these others too, but against that, definitely. So, finish kind of dissipates as you get towards the middle of the palate. It starts to already fade. So, against the others, or I should say, actually against this, it just doesn't. I don't think it's a comparison. So, Brock, is this one better, equal, or worse than the baseline pour tonight? For me, tonight, this is better than letter C tonight. So I prefer the baseline pour over that tonight. So these two I like better than the baseline. This one I like the baseline better. All right, so we got a match going on. So let's go ahead and get letter D and see what we're working with here on the nose. Okay, this has got a little funk to it. My first thing I thought was shoe polish, but I think it's more like a leather, something along that line. A little leather, like old leather, barrel influence there, oak. Yep, that's what I'm getting on the nose here. Let's get this on the palate then. Cheers. That's nice. That one coats the mouth really well. That's got leather that kind of follows through all the way. There's more vanilla and caramel as you get towards the mid and back that kind of pick up a little bit more. It's a little more pronounced than on the front end. The front end is just more like leather and oak. As you get towards the mid and back, it opens up a little bit more with some sweetness there. So you get a little bit of vanilla, some caramel on the back end. Finish is pretty decent again. I call this one brown medium as well, maybe, but also pretty viscous. Nice. Yeah, that's a nice pour. That's pretty solid. Let's give this one a try again. I mean, that is good though. Proof-wise, I feel like there's a couple of them, the proof-wise, that kind of hang with that one. I think this one's kind of another one. It seems like it at least. But overall for a decision tonight, this one is also a tough one, but I have a winner. So Brock, is this one better, worse, or equal than the baseline pour tonight? For me, it's going to be, I prefer this over the baseline. Not significantly, but I just enjoy this one. I think this is a little more flavors going on. I think I like the leather note that comes on the back end of that too. The proof seems to hit well with this as well too. I just enjoy that pour. It's good flavors across the board. All right, so there you are. We have all of these lined up. You guys have been seeing on the screen what these are, but I do not know. So I'm gonna pull the bottles up and let's see which ones are in what order as I was describing how they stacked up against the baseline pour. So just hang with me and I'll try to make this real quick so we can get to what everybody's really wanting to know is what the hell is that, right? So there you have it. That's the order in which I was drinking those and stacking those against the baseline pour. So now it's time to find out what is the baseline pour tonight. Let's go find out together. This is, holy crap, it's a lot. This is, holy shit. Wow. That's funny. I thought she picked the same one I had here, but she didn't. This one is Nashtucky. This is Nashville's small batch rye. You're not gonna be able to read that shit, but I'm just showing you that it's there. So let me go pull that bottle up real quick because that's funny because that one's in the mix. So here's the bottle. This is the Nashville's Connected Spirits also, which was the same one that was on Fred Minnick's list here. These two were on Fred Minnick's list, I think in 2024. I just actually picked this up for my birthday trip in January. This is the one I found in the actual airport on the way back home from Nashville. But This is Nashville. This is Connected Spirits, coming in at 114.808 proof. And this is a blended small batch. So again, this is actually distilled actually, this might be Indiana because it's rye. Yep, distilled in Indiana, but aged and bottled in Tennessee, right? Nashtucky. There you have it. So again, I had a feeling that one had a little more proof than this one, which it did. And it did have some kind of rye characteristics on that one as well too, but really good pour. I can't believe this one I thought was a little better than that. And I think it's just the profile of Heaven Hill and Indiana. I don't know. Just the way my palate preferred it tonight was this one. So, but this one right here was a tough one, right? Because they're from the same, it's just the rye versus the small batch bourbon. And this one right here too just didn't stack up against that one to me, in my opinion, but really good. These are good overall. So there you have it, folks. Leave a comment down below. Let me know would some of these beat the baseline pour tonight for you. Let me know in the comments. Smash the like button, subscribe to the channel. Until next time, sip your passion.